Hi, a very good afternoon to everyone around the country. I'm Bhanu Potta. I'm on the board of Worldreader India, and with me we have David Risher today, who is the Global President and the founding CEO of Worldreader Global. Hi David, welcome to India.
It's great
to be here. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And today we're going to talk about the power of stories as teaching and learning tools. Right? As Worldreader, you have started off this very interesting project which basically brings a curated set of stories from around the world into a smartphone, and then helps teachers and parents start reading to their children. So you have been in few classrooms in India in the last week. What have you seen, and what do you have to say about the power of stories?
You know, it's extraordinary what we've seen here. So I'm visiting from the United States, and this is now, I think, my fourth or fifth time in India. Every time I come here, I am blown away by both the scale of what happens in the country of India, but also the quality. If you think about what stories do for children, they allow children to explore the world, right? So through the power of reading and the power of imagination, you can go way outside of what happens in the classroom or in the Anganwadi to all over the world, all over the planet. And that's really what stories do. That's what we're believers of in Worldreader, is that to be a leader, you have to be a reader, and it starts with activating your imagination by listening to stories, interacting with stories, and having them play out in your brain, and then being able to imagine what can happen in the future.
Thank you. So India being such a large country with close to almost like 260 million children who are in the schooling age, how do we scale this up, and what's the role of technology and skill of teachers in the whole big scheme?
I mean, I think you've put your finger on two of the most important pieces. Technology helps get to big scale. And one thing we say sometimes is it's easier to move bits than atoms. In other words, it's easier to move electronic pieces of information around a country the size of India than it is to move physical books. And that's very clear. You think about remote regions, almost impossible to reach with physical books reliably, but very easy to reach with technology, number one. But number two, it's really the teacher that makes it come to life. All the technology in the world doesn't help, and I'm sure everyone on this channel has seen examples of technology that sits in the closet, that gathers dust, that nobody ever uses. And the reason for that is because it doesn't have the right content, in our case the right stories on it, and most importantly the teachers aren't actively engaged in using that technology and bringing it into the classroom. So as an example, just over the last couple of days, I've seen teachers using the Read to Kids app on their smartphone, broadcasting that smartphone, Chromecasting it onto an inexpensive projector, and then putting that on the wall. Right? So imagine a teacher reading a story, but projecting it on the wall, showing the pictures of the animals, showing the pictures of what's going on in the story. And the teacher's walking the students through the story, helping the students imagine what's happening in the story, making the sounds of the animals in the story, really engaging that classroom. And so it's that combination. It's not just about the technology. It's about the technology plus the stories plus the teacher. You put those three together and magic can happen.
Okay. So one last question before we wind up.
Yeah.
In the last 3-4 days, you have been to Anganwadis and some classrooms.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the interesting ways in which these stories played out inside the classroom, how the teachers handled them and how the teachers turned them around towards learning outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it starts with the story, and maybe the story is about a donkey who can't wake up, one of the stories in our Worldreader collection. A donkey that can't wake up, and so different animals come and help wake that donkey up, and eventually it's the small fly that actually buzzes around the donkey's nose that ends up waking the donkey up. So a little story about the power of something small being able to do something very, very big. That story was brought to life by a teacher who was using masks, simple masks, on kids, inviting the students to come up and participate in that story as the story was being told, really bringing the story to life for all of the students there, going on and talking about everything from how flies carry germs and how germs carry disease and what happens if a fly lands on your food, right? So really bringing it to life for the students, and then providing worksheets. The Worldreader and our partner SARD have co-developed so that the students can actually color the animals, color the different items, and sort of bring the story to life in their own mind. So it's, it's really this combination of an interactive, storytelling type of scenario, with an expert teacher, a smart teacher bringing this to life, and then of course materials like worksheets and so forth to sort of solidify and cement the ideas in the students' brains.
Yeah. So I think it's very interesting to see how the Worldreader initiative has been playing out in the hands of the teachers in the Anganwadis and the primary school teachers in the Kendriya Vidyalayas and the STMC schools. I think one of the important thing is to create a reader. You first have to read to the reader.
That's right.
And that role is basically significantly played by the parents, teachers, or the caregivers who are there.
That's right.
And I think we would be very happy to kind of take this Worldreader asset along with our partners to millions of parents across India and teachers and caregivers across India.
It's absolutely
Thank you for
right.
taking the time today to be with us.
Thank you so much, Bhanu. And I'll say one last thing, which is I know exams are coming up for many students. You have plenty of stress and plenty of people telling you to study harder for exams. I won't be one of those people. All I'll say is good luck on the exam. Work as much as you're capable of, but then stop. Go out and spend some time outside. De-stress yourself. That's the way you'll do best on your exam. So good luck with the exams to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
For sure.